I'm going to show you here on this photo how to make it look so that this window is not open. So I've got this picture from Unsplash and it was copyright free. And so I'm going to zoom in on my window. First thing I'm going to do is I need to make a selection. Now you can try your select subject, but in this case, it's not going to do a great job. It's going to want to select most of that car. Instead, I'm going to use my quick selection tool and I'm going to drag over this section of the window and get that piece in there that is the face that's showing through. Now, you could be accurate if you wanted to in this top portion that is up here, but we can also do that afterwards with the masking so that it is a little bit more accurate by look and feel afterwards. If you do want to refine that selection a bit, remember that Alt is a minus of the selection. So if I hold down my Alt key and I come across there, I am subtracting that part out of my selection, and Shift would add it back in again. So those are your shortcuts. Shift to add things into the selection and Alt to subtract things out of the selection. I think what I want to do is I want to have a little bit more control to make sure that I haven't missed anything. So I'm going to actually do a bit more of a random selection through here so that you can see how you can refine it afterwards. Now I'm going to create a new layer. And on that new layer, I want to have this to be just a little bit, I guess, of really a white layer. So I'm going to switch to my foreground to white, grab my paint bucket tool, and I'm going to fill that in inside of it. Now you can see it's really rough. It doesn't look all that great, but I can switch my opacity and start turning my opacity down so that it just looks like that window is rolled up without being too much, I guess, there. We've just added a little bit of transparency to it. In order to refine this edge now, you can take your masking brushes and fix what that's going to look like. So I'll demonstrate how that works. First, I'll do a Control D. That will deselect my selection. And now on that part where you can see that it's really rough, I want you to remember that when you're using a mask, black conceals and white reveals. So first on that layer, I'm going to add my mask. And now make sure that you are in fact on the mask and that you're painting with black and white on the mask and that you're not actually painting with black or white on that particular layer itself. So you can see I've got my little square around my mask. That's what I'm selected on. I'm going to take a brush and I'm going to paint with black. Now when I paint with this brush, remember that your square bracket keys will increase the size of your brush or decrease the size of your brush. And also you've got your hardness and softness here. I'm going to want a really crisp brush on that. So you're going to want to use a hard edged brush on it. And now I can just come in and I can paint. Now, if you have a tablet, of course, this would be a lot more accurate. I can paint over the pieces that I don't want. I'm going to go rough right now so that you can see how I would come in and actually refine that around it and make a mess of it. And then to fix that, I'll zoom in a little bit more and I will paint with the opposite color. So I'm going to switch my color now to white. I can do that quickly by hitting this little arrow button to switch them, or X as a shortcut will just switch those colors. So now I'm going to come in with white and I'm just going to paint with white over top of that little black trim that is in there. And if you use a bigger brush, it goes a little bit faster, but of course you could use a smaller brush. And also, if you have a drawing tablet, then your pressure sensitivity on your tablet is also going to work in your favor because you'll be able to press harder when you want a bigger brush and press softer when you want a smaller brush. And there you have it. You can do the same type of an effect by filling with black and lowering your opacity. It would look like it was a tinted window. So you can play around with the shades of your color. This one's got a little bit of a blue cast on the front of the window. So if I wanted to be super accurate, I might use just a little bit of blue in that coloring rather than pure white to be able to make it look like the window is matching a little bit better.